and Arkansas talk legend Dave Elswick on 101.1 FM. The Answer.
All right, it's good to have you here on the last hour, Dave Elswick Show. Pat Davis is here, your health plan man. Glad to have him back on because there's things to be talked about today that are very, very serious. Don't forget to go to the website, Your Health Plan Man, one word, yourhealthplanman.com, or call 501-605-6935. Now, Pat, you and I have talked extensively about health insurance. The president yesterday signed some executive orders that are going to make some differences in health insurance and things that you've been talking about that needed to be done. So now it's happened. Explain to the listeners what's in their future.
Thanks for having me on again, Dave. And what's really interesting is what we've been talking about the 4 or 5 times, I guess, that I've been on, has been what's called price transparency. And there was a law signed January 1 that would require hospitals, different providers, to show what their real prices are, or what we call true pricing. Well, some of them complied, some of them, and I'll be honest with you, some of the biggest name companies that own hospitals, it's pretty incredible. The big insurance companies, and I'm not afraid to say it, Blue Cross, some of these big companies, they own insurance, they own hospitals, and they were just playing games in a lot of places in the country where they'll basically say, we understand that this is a law, and then a hospital across the street is totally compliant. So that was a good law that was passed January 1, but it hasn't been heeded. And so yesterday, in fact...
No, what you're telling me, there was a law passed and people just ignored it?
Just like any other law, they find every possible way to get around it if they can. Okay. Right. So yesterday, President Trump signed an executive order that said, we're going to do this. You have got to show what true pricing is, and it's got to be available online. And I'm sure they're not going to make that, it's going to stay open-ended. You got to have this done by whatever amount of time. So it's a big deal. And the insurance that I've been talking about for all this time, we work with price transparency. So I know, I teach my clients how to shop so they get the best prices for their health care. And they know in advance what's going to look like for their health care. So if you have what I call a big box insurance company, all the big name companies, and you have a claim, you get what I call a fake bill, and then you pay your deductible, right? You've been paying your premiums every single month, and the first thing that happens is you take your hard-earned money and you put that on the table in the form of a deductible. Mm-hmm. You have 20%, whatever else on top of that. And all of a sudden, you've got this fake $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 bill, and you're out of pocket $7,000, $8,000, $10,000. Okay? Not with my insurance. Just the opposite. I actually am better off to stay in the hospital longer if I'm sick. Major medical plans.
I want you to explain that.
I'm going to.
You just had to do
I did. I just went through it. You're right. So a major medical plan, right? Managed care, as we call this. The insurance company is going to tell you, you can be in the hospital for 2 days or 3 days or whatever with this condition. Well, when I was in the hospital, I was in the hospital for 5 days. I had a pulmonary embolism. Wasn't fun, let me tell you. But I sat down with my doctor and my cardiologist, and I said, guys, I want the best possible care I can get. I won't have any insurance company tell me I have to go home. And I actually get paid more money to stay in the hospital longer. And they looked at me and said, we want to find out about your insurance. Okay. My wife went and got cards for them when I'm in the hospital. But a long story short, I stayed in the hospital 5 nights like I requested. And when the dust clears, my bills will all be paid, and I'm going to get a good check from my insurance company That's the opposite of the way all other insurance out there works. So not only will my deductible be met, but I won't have any money out of pocket at all. And I'm going to take my check, and then if there's anything left over, any doctors or whatever I got to follow up with, I'll just use it to pay that. The rest, hey, I'm going to spend on advertising.
Yeah, well,
or whatever. It's
we're
my
very
money.
happy. We're very happy that you're going to do that.
Yeah, and I mean, the bottom line is, and you and I talk about this a lot, Dave, what do I run into more than anything else is people say it's too good to be true.
Yeah.
They've been brainwashed by the big name insurance companies for so long. And understand, I'm a total independent insurance agent, so I can write for any of them. I just stopped writing for one of the biggest name companies, in the last 10 months. I won't write another policy like that again. Why would I want my clients to pay thousands of dollars out of pocket if I can lower that amount to where they only have to pay a slight amount of money, or in many cases, they're going to actually get a check. Yeah, exactly. They're going to get a check.
I'm going to tell you what, it's much more fun to get a check than to write a check.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? And so when I'm talking to people lately about the insurance, this is so fun. I tell them every day I'm looking for a bill. I want to get my hospital bill from my insurance company. So I'm looking forward to going to the mailbox to get a bill. Mm-hmm. Because attached to that is going to be a breakdown of my bill, and there's going to be a fat check in there. And that's my money. I can do whatever I want with it. So that is the opposite of anything out there. But I share this with people all the time, and they say, Pat, that just sounds too good to be true. Well, it really isn't if you think about it. Here's what happens. A lady in Arizona, she gets snake bit. I've shared this with you before, Dave.
Yeah, we heard this.
It costs $200 for her antivenom. And this is not only a good way to understand the system, but it should infuriate you that this goes on every day in our country. So the provider pays $200 for an antivenom, and they need 2 of them. So $400 it costs the provider. And get this, the provider bills the insurance company $80,000. That just infuriates me. That's just so wrong.
Yeah, explain to me how that isn't fraud.
I hear that all the time. Dave, I don't know the answer to it. I don't know how so many of the insurance companies, I think they lobby hard. I don't know how all that special interest stuff, how that comes into play. But I just know that there's a guy that I love to listen to. His name is Keith Smith, and the Surgery Center of Oklahoma City. And Keith said, they always talk about prices spiraling out of control with healthcare. He said, I've seen 4 price changes in 20 years, and they were all decreases of my prices. Now, wait a minute. How can that happen? So people say all the time, it sounds too good to be true. How come your prices are so low? And he said, my question is, why are everybody else's prices so high? Yes. And so 20 years ago, they went all cash. They don't take any insurance. That's just the system that they use. Now, I'm not saying that's my system, but I'm just telling you the purest way to see what something really costs is to go to your doctor and say, hey, what will it cost if I pay cash? And then you look at the difference between that and if you have your insurance pay. There are so many middlemen that come into play here. And I don't apologize for this. I can't help it. Before I kind of tried to avoid it, But if you have a plan with Blue Cross, United Healthcare, and Better, these big name companies, there are so many middlemen that are involved in these situations. So Keith Smith charges $9,500 for a pacemaker. The hospital around the corner charges $95,000 for the same exact one, right? Mm-hmm. I just told you I was in the hospital. I have to take a blood thinner. My blood thinner costs me about $10 a pill. And for a while, I have to take 2, and then I'll go to a 1-a-day regimen. I ordered them from Canada, and it's going to cost me about $1 something a pill. And I'm actually having them come in from Turkey. Right? So compare that to $10 a pill. How can one be $1 something, another be 10? And these are great. They come in to Canada, they go into a center in New York, they're checked for accuracy and, all that kind of stuff. And then it comes to me, and I actually just got my first batch.
So you don't have to worry about a pill being made in a foreign country that doesn't even have the medicine in it that it's supposed to have.
Exactly right. Because who wants to get bad health care and pay less? That's no good.
That's just the opposite of, good health care, and it costs you an exorbitant, amount would be better than bad health care that you don't pay very little for.
Right. And so this is a big thing, and I stress this over and over. Health insurance and health care are not the same. And you never know how much health care costs until it's free. If we went, if we went Medicare for all, or a lot of the stuff that people are crying for, I don't understand that for anything. The bottom line is, if we went that direction as a country, we not only would have horrible health care, but you would wait in line for
forever.
Months sometimes.
Yeah, forever.
People will die. It's happening in any country where they have this kind of medicine. Mick Jagger had a chance. He had some real bad problems with his heart recently. He didn't fly back to London. He didn't go back to England and get his health.
New York.
He went to New York. That's right. To Methodist or Sinai Hospital, I think it was. So this is a passion of mine, as you can tell. I'm not angry at anyone, but I'm very angry at the system that continues to rip people off every single day in, day out. Big, huge bills. They're fake. And I know it because I've seen what real bills look like.
Well, they're arbitrary.
They are.
I got to feel that some of these bills that they come up with, they go, $95,000. We'll get our money out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you watch different videos about price transparency, you'll see one where they talk about they actually have to, at the hospital, they got to open up more boxes of gloves and do all that kind of stuff, because that's where they get their money. You can talk about fraud all day long, but it's the hardest thing in the world to be able to prove. And then you look at a doctor I saw on a video recently, and he said, I pay 14% of my income to take care of insurance claims, and people to file stuff for me.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And so what Keith and these guys did at this surgery center in Oklahoma City is they stripped their staff down to what was necessary. They don't have people running around in three-piece suits and, $400,000 salaries and whatever else. They don't need to. They pay back because they've been very gifted, and they're able to help people, and they save money so much. Now people don't even fly into Oklahoma City, which they started from Canada, believe it or not,
right,
and then started coming in from all over the world. But like if they're in Florida, they just talk to their local provider, and now the hospital is matching their prices. So one of the most important things of all of this, to kind of land this plane, if you would, is the president made this bill so very clear. And one of the things that could come from it, I'm just guessing, but I think it could, is that you'll have all kinds of different events or types of services or whatever, and they'll have like a uniform pricing. So you're not going to be able to get away with gouging a person, here and there. I was going to share a quote. I left my phone in the other room, but I had a quote I took off of a website from the president that he said, and he's very tired of the big farm and all that stuff just taking advantage of people.
All right, so we're going to take a break. You can go get your phone. You'll have the quote. I'm Dave Elswick. Pat Davis is my guest. He's helping you make some good decisions about health coverage. He is your health plan man.
Point one, the answer.
Stimulating talk with Dave Elswick. 101.1 FM. The Answer.
All right, back with you, Dave Elswick Show. Pat Davis is here, your health plan man. Always remember, he's the health plan man. And you can go to his website. It is Your Health Plan Man, one word, yourhealthplanman.com. Now, I'm going to suggest that you go there and you check things out. And then you start asking questions, because this is a way for you to save some honest money. Call 501-605-6935. I have Pat on because I know what he does. He can help you out. And I'm all about helping my listeners out save money. That's why I have Joe and Duck on and everybody else that we have on here. These are qualified, professional people that can help you out. 501-605-6935. I don't know about everybody else, but I was always happy whenever I could save money on insurance because insurance is exorbitant now. It's just exorbitant. It's way, way up there. Shouldn't be up there, but it is. We're down to just a couple of minutes before we get to the news. You had a quote that you wanted to read from the president. What you got?
President Trump said yesterday, we should also require drug companies, insurance companies, and hospitals to disclose real prices to foster competition and bring costs down. That's why the big name insurance companies are fighting this. They don't want to bring costs down.
Well, they don't want us to know.
That's exactly right.
How high the costs have artificially been inflated.
Yep.
That's the key. Everybody needs to understand. It's like the hospital you know of in Oklahoma City that does a pacemaker for $9,500, and less than a block away on the other side of the block where they're located at, you got another hospital charging $92,000 for the same thing. The same thing.
Yep.
There's something to get upset about, to get angry about when it comes to that.
You're right.
You know, so what Pat's telling you is by talking to him, he can help you short circuit that stuff. And he's doing that right now. He just spent 5 days in hospital. He's waiting for the bill to get to him because it's going to have a check with it.
Yep. Sure is.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be.
Money's good.
I mean, and you go, well, why would he get insurance? He's been paying on his insurance.
Yep.
That's the key, and he's not paying any more than anybody else is. It's the way that the money is used, and that is for you to understand. See, this is the thing I always try to explain to people. You got to be self-aware of what's going on, and you got to have self-responsibility to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
That's up to you.
Yeah.
You know, Pat can help you out. You got to take advantage, and the way you take advantage is the first thing you got to do is call him. 501-605-6935. Don't let that thing going off in your head. It's too good to be true. You don't know if it's too good to be true unless somebody sits down and tells you about it. YourHealthPlanMan.com or 501-605-6935. Pat Davis, my guest, who's sitting here in the studio. If you're on my Facebook account, you're watching Facebook Live at the Dave Elswick Show. That's Pat. He's the guy that doesn't look like me. Pat Davis is here. He is your health plan man. Your health plan man website, yourhealthplanman.com, and his not website, but phone number, 501-605-6935. Now, we talk a lot about deductibles. We talk a lot about how much does it just cost for your health insurance, and it's expensive.
Yeah.
I told you, I just turned 66. I went on Medicare. The cost is almost identical with what I had because my company was paying 50% of my health insurance. That's what's good about when your company gets involved. But here's the key. The deductible was $6,000 with my company that I used to have my insurance with, but with Medicare, it's $250.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Huge difference.
Yeah.
Huge difference. But talk about just costs of health insurance policies now.
Yeah, and I can use my own as an example. I will be 61 next month, and my wife will be turning 60 in August.
Young
and
kids.
Our insurance under Obamacare had gone to about $1,450 a month, and that's more than my mortgage. And then we decided, I don't know if we want to have this insurance anymore. And then I found out it was going to go up to like $1,800, $2,000 a month. So this is ridiculous. And of course, then you had to decide if you're going to pay a penalty to not have horrible insurance. Thank God that's done. Way to go, President Trump.
Right.
With breaking that mandate. But you'd be surprised how many people still feel like they got to keep their insurance because they're going to get penalized if they don't, or if they get off the policy early, that they're going to get hit with a fee. That's not there anymore. They broke the mandate, so it's gone. You're not required even to have health insurance anymore. It's not going to affect your taxes. It's not going to affect any of that. So my premium is less than half of what it would have been under Obamacare, under a major medical plan.
So you're less than $700.
No, it's a little more than that, but I got a great dental plan. And
well, you added some things.
Yeah, I've got a really stout plan that if I had an accident, I won't have to pay probably any money out of pocket. If I have a surgery outpatient, I'm going to be in great shape. And of course, like I already told you, if I go to the hospital, I go to the doctor, my copay, is very, very minimal. But the thing is that medical insurance has gone out of sight because people have allowed it to happen. Every time you pay that premium, whether it's through your employer or your own private insurance, and let me plead to people who are self-employed, you just need to call me. No matter who you have for a health insurance plan, call me. I will probably be able to save you money. And when you go to use it, you'll especially save money. And that just gives you more money to invest in your company.
501-605-6935.
Yes. And text me. I love to text. A lot of people feel comfortable with that. And here's another thing. I'm not coming out to your house or your business and sitting down and leaning over your shoulder and making sure you buy the insurance. I do everything I do electronically. I meet with people right over the phone, so they don't have to set another appointment that they don't want to have. And I do this in 13 states. So that is something that my clients really enjoy. I'm not there breathing down their neck. But let me say with that, you've got to trust me. If I tell you I can save you, and this is very common, 50% on your insurance premium. You see all the commercials, Geico and all those like that. Hey, we might be able to save $100, $200, $300. I save people thousands of dollars. And sometimes I'll just ask them, the only other question I need to ask you is, what do you want to do with the $5,000 or $8,000 or $10,000 a year that you're going to save? And it's real. But people have been brainwashed for so long by what we call big box insurance companies that they just feel it can't be possible. Mm-hmm. So no matter what your situation is, I talk to people every day. My insurance is provided for me at work, but I pay for my family. And it's outrageous. I could probably get a plan for you, your spouse, and your children for less money than you're paying just for the extra for the spouse and the children. I do this all of the time, and it's fun. And one of the first things I tell people, hey, I really appreciate you reaching out to me, and I want you to know I'm totally independent so I can write for anybody I want. And I've been doing health and life insurance for 15 years, but I have never had more fun than I am right now. There's nothing like knowing that you've just cut somebody's premium in half or 30%. But when you're talking about $1,000 or $500 or $300, whatever amount of money, you're not talking about an annual savings of maybe a couple $100 like you are with Geico and some of those car insurance commercials. We're talking about thousands of dollars that we're saving people. But here's the thing. I can't do it if you don't give me a shot. So I tell everybody, just call me. Just text me. You have nothing to lose. And I'm going to take a few minutes.
Everything to gain.
Everything to gain. Yeah. And if I can't help you, I'll be the one to tell you, because I'm not. I have people say, oh, this is a low pressure, when they do ads for me sometimes, like TV or whatever. I said, no, it's not a low pressure. It's no pressure. I am not going to push someone to get a plan they don't want or need. And if it's not good for them, I'll be the one to tell them. I'll tell you that this isn't the right plan for you. Okay? So just give me a chance. Text me, call me. If you've got health insurance, give me a shot. If you don't have any health insurance, the reason most people don't is because it's been unaffordable. People are shocked when they see how little it costs for my plans that I propose to them, and they're able to get insurance, some of them who haven't had it for years, pretty much since Obamacare kicked in. A lot of people got rid of their insurance. I'm bringing a lot of those people back, Dave.
All right. It's Pat Davis, all right? That's who you're listening to, Pat Davis. He only wants you to let him talk to you and show you that what he's saying here on the air is, in fact, absolutely true. All right, so here's what you need to do. I mean, this is your part of the responsibility of this transaction to find out if you can save some money. Go to Your Health Plan Man. That's one word, yourhealthplanman.com, or call. And you can text by using this number as well, 501-605-6935.
The Dave Elswick Show, 101.1 FM, The Answer.
I'm glad he just mentioned that, because I was going to say, we'll take one caller here at the very end of the show. If you've got questions, if you want to ask Pat, this is just too good to be true. Come on, quit BSing us and tell us the truth about this. Go ahead and give a call, 823-0965. I'm sure you're spending a lot of money on health care, and let him talk to you, and he can ask you a few questions and probably tell you some different things that he can do to reduce your prices. Again, if you don't want to do it on the air, I understand, but yourhealthplanman.com is the website, and 501-605-6935 is the phone number that you can call, or you can text to and ask questions to Pat. I highly recommend that you look into this. These are the people that I do business with. I can tell you they're worthy of your time to look into, to see what they can do for you and save you some money. Look, so what are some of the first questions you're going to ask somebody?
That I'm going to ask?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to find out if they have insurance. I'm going to find out if they're getting a subsidy from the government. If somebody's got $1,000 plan and they're paying $100 a month for it, they don't need to call me. I can't help them.
Sure, I can.
That's an incredible situation. But a lot of Christians have problems with a lot of the things wrapped up in Obamacare.
That's correct.
And you got a lot of abortion stuff in there. There's a whole lot of stuff that goes along with that. And so I encourage people, maybe you might pay a little bit more, but might give you a little bit cleaner conscience too.
Yeah.
And there's others who that's just the way it is. They can't afford anything other than what they have with the government plan. Man, I totally am understanding of that. But most people are paying way more than they need to, and they'll really pay way more than they need to when they go to use their plan. And I hear people say all the time, yeah, Pat, I pay all this money every month, and then when I have to use it, everything goes toward my deductible. It's like I'm not getting any benefit. I go to the doctor and this happens.
I can relate.
Yeah, and so those are all things that the kind of plans I work with bust through all that. So here's one of my biggest pleas. People will say, you know what, I want something different. I'm open to looking into something different. But the only way that we're going to change, because most people agree what goes on in our country healthcare-wise is health insurance, okay? And healthcare is an atrocity.
And it's because the government got involved with it from the very beginning.
Yeah, at some level, right. But with regular health insurance plans, even without the government, you still have all these middlemen that work alongside what I call the big box insurance companies. And that's why, in case you missed the beginning of our show, President Trump signed an executive order yesterday. You have to, as a hospital, as a provider, you have to show your exact pricing for all of your different services. And that was actually signed. A couple of months ago,
we talked about this.
Yeah, because it was signed into law January 1. But he said this is not strong enough. The people aren't heeding it. The hospitals and the insurance companies are trying to get around it. So this is an executive order. We're not playing games anymore. I love that about our president, right? So the most important thing to me is if I can't help someone, save them money, give them more for what they're paying, I don't want to try. But I can't tell that unless someone calls me or goes to my website at least and checks out, what we do on there. But what you have is a big scam in our country. Insurance stuff is out of control. Why does an injection cost a provider 75 cents and they charge the insurance, bill the insurance $360? Just another example.
Well, part of that, and we can talk about this if you want to or whatever, is that we mentioned the people who are getting checks so they can buy their insurance, and somebody's got to pay for that.
Yep.
And it's us, and we're paying it through our own insurance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And why do you go to one hospital and they charge you X, and you go to another hospital and they charge you Y, and the Y is exorbitant by comparison to X?
Tens of hundreds, thousands of dollars.
And it's not because this hospital is better than that hospital necessarily. No one wants to get horrible health care at the expense of saving money. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about getting the best health care, but we're also talking about you controlling your future and shopping for the best pricing. So the whole thing I started talking about on the front end of the call of the meeting today is to look at the pricing transparency bill that the president just signed and how this plays out with the type of insurance that I do. You can actually know before you go and have a surgery what it's going to cost. And I'm not talking about you got to pay cash. You go into the doctor, you give them your card like any other insurance, and you walk out of there. If you have the same scenario with a major medical plan, Blue Cross, United, I'm talking the big name companies, any Obamacare plan, then what's going to happen is you're going to always, no matter what the pricing is, you're going to fall back into their system, and no matter how it should have looked, you're not going to take advantage of those prices. You're not going to take advantage of the true transparency of pricing, even if you can see it. Well, they're still going to bill whatever they want to bill, and you're going to get stuck, and you're going to pay your big deductible out of pocket. You're going to pay your 20%, 30%, 40%, whatever, up to your stop loss. And I'm going to get a check from my insurance company for the same situation that you're in for thousands of dollars. Now, you tell me why you'd want to keep a major medical plan in those scenarios. It doesn't make sense.
Now, explain to me why you wouldn't want to call Pat and talk to him about your particular situation. Call 501-605-6935, 501-605-6935. That is a phone number you can call directly to Pat. You can also send him a text directly there, or you can go on his website, yourhealthplanman.com. That's simple.
Yep.
That's simple. People can talk to you. As far as we haven't had any calls today, Pat, but I would suggest people call you on that phone number, 501-605-6935. If he could save me thousands of dollars, I can tell you, I'd be on the horn here in just the next few minutes as soon as he walks off the air, which will happen here next 25, 30 seconds. Yourhealthplanman.com. Like I said, I try to have people on that can help you out. I've done that with other doctors who don't take health insurance, and they've saved a lot of you a lot of money. Some of you we're paying $300-400 out of your own pockets for somebody to do lab work, and then you went to a doctor that didn't take insurance, and you paid him a couple of $100 a month to go see him. Yeah. Go see him, and they do a full blood lab, and it only costs you $25. Huge difference. Yeah. Huge difference. Just take some responsibility. You got to take some responsibility. And don't be fearful. If you're fearful, you'll be frozen in place. Pat, thanks. I like your shirt, but I want to mention that. It says Fathor. Okay, it says Fathor. Like a dad, just way mightier. I like that.
Fathor.
And it's got the hammer in the middle. Pat, thanks so much for coming by.